Hey Dave, it's Alan. Just giving you the quick show of what's going on here. This is your oxidizer being loaded. Since we're limited on how much power we have to trial the skid, I just wanted to show you what I can running individually. So I have to go turn it on and off things and then come back to you. I have the 3 cooling towers running on variable speed, so you can kind of see them running here. Water. Show you the fans running now. Here I've got the water running in there. You can kind of see it falling, cascading. The air is pulling against through this way and then going up the other side. The water temperature is pretty cold. This is the common cooling tower pump. There's some instruments on it. There's pressure and flow. This is your 2 heat exchangers. We're using this one on the left now, so you can kind of see the valving arrangement. This one's open. And this one's closed. And that's the intent, to leave one open, one closed. This is a sample conditioning system for the oxygen analyzer. And this is a polymer pump. It's running right now. You kind of see the tube pulsing there. And that puts water into the scrubber. We're taking water out of the clarifier tank just because we don't have a water tank out here. But this is the water pump, and it's running right now. I'll just open the gauge valve. I have a gauge for this, but I haven't. You can kind of see.
I don't know how much work all this.
Here's the Dave. I can turn on and off stuff here. This isn't your display; it's just my program, but. You can kind of see, I'm going to speed this up to full speed, and then I'll show you what that does outside. This is it running full speed, Dave, so the cooling towers are running at 100% now. This is a sample amendment system. And I turn this valve on so you can just see what it looks like. There's a drum that goes here with chemicals, but it's automatic. And I have 2 that are on cycle. One's for biocide and one is for conditioner so it doesn't corrode. John's just putting on the top hatch for you now, but all the hatches are in, all the nozzles are in. I'm going to run the ID fan next, but I'm going to turn off the cooling tower fans. But I'll leave everything else running. So what I'm going to do now is just turn off the cooling tower fan, and then I'll turn on the ID fan. You'll obviously have buttons to do all this. I'm just showing you how it works because I don't have the main PLC hooked up yet. So I'm going to run the ID fan at about 45%. I'm sorry, 75%. Okay, so it's on. I'll go out there and show you it's running. You can kind of hear it running, but I'll go up and show you. I'm going to run the scrubber next, but because we filled up the tank before I finished showing you how this is. Essentially, you've got a valve down here that we can take mud from the bottom of the scrubber. That's connected by a hose to a T right here, which takes floating oil from the scrubber. So this will be connected to the bottom of the hose. And then the hose here from the top connects to the suction on that diaphragm pump right over there. You can kind of see the flange connection on that. And the hose is here, I just haven't hooked it up. I will hook it up tomorrow. But I wanted to show you that that's the status right now. This panel right here is a pressure measurement panel, and it accepts compressed air that then keeps that enclosure cool. You can kind of see a panel air conditioner on it, and we measure pressures throughout the plant location on that spot, and it's connected by cable to this control panel over here. I'll show you the inside of the control panel next. This is my control panel cable right here. This is how I'm communicating with it right now between me and my office. This is just an Ethernet cord. Right now we have a cord just connected to our power supply here. This would go to our main power supply connection, and we'll provide that cord. This is the control panel itself. You can kind of see this is an air conditioner, and it keeps this enclosure cool. This is the PLC. Small power supply on the right. These are pressure transmitters, and they measure both differential pressure across an orifice plate for flow, and then we also measure different water levels and pressures in another system. These are our variable frequency drives. One is for the ID fan and one for the cooling tower fan. These are motor starters. The cooling tower fans, there's 3 of them, so they each have their own circuit protection. And then we have a site water pump, a scrubber pump, and scrubber pump, cooling water pump, and a site water pump. And these are all the instruments that are here coming in the 4 to 20 milliamp stuff. Between the ID fan and this panel, we have a plug connector, and then we also have a plug connector for some lights. I'm going to ship these separate, but they're here. I'll show you those in a moment, and they're going to mount right up on top of where John's standing. So you'll have some light up on top of the scrubber. Dave, these are the light assemblies. I have 3 of them, and we have a little yoke that attaches, and it's going to attach to the top of the containers, just so you see it. This right here is a light sensor, Dave, and that turns on and off your lights. And here's the air conditioner again on that enclosure, and I'm on the other side of the enclosure. All the nozzles are installed in the scrubber already, and all the piping for the scrubber actually comes inside the tank and into the scrubber itself, so there's no external piping, and this is how it'll ship. This is the scrubber. There's not a lot of water in it yet. I have to put some more water in it before I run the scrubber pump. I'll do that, and then I'll show you that video in a minute. Air diaphragm pump. This is the ID fan. You can kind of see the top side of your skid. Dave, the scrubber pump's running now. Not much to see other than it's running. We're running through the heat exchanger here. So this valve is open and this one's closed. And we're running here. And all the piping is internal to the scrubber. You can't really see it, but I'll go around the front side. You can see the scrubber doors. We got one that doesn't have where the packing's going. It doesn't have anything on it, but basically everything else is sealed up. That one isn't finished bolting, but you can see it flowing. Here's the oxidizer in the container with the fans. They're not really located yet, but we were able to squeeze it in there today. This is the other side of the oxidizer. You know, it's not insulated yet, but it will be. This is your filter press. This is your tipping valves and your feed hopper system. This is our control room office if you're interested.